Hey Flo, it's Mike here, and I want to welcome you to this 5-minute follow along wrist mobilization video. I would highly encourage you to get to know this sequence and perform it before your animal flow practice, during your practice, and of course after your practice. Okay, we're going to start off with 30 seconds on the clock, and we'll begin with some wrist rolls. Go ahead and clasp your fingers together and slowly start to roll one hand around the other hand. It is important to mention that whenever you're performing these wrist mobilizations, we want to stay out of any painful or uncomfortable areas or angles. So if you feel an area or angle that feels a little uncomfortable, you can always cut the movement just shy of that message. Let's go ahead and switch directions. I did already mention to stay free of painful areas or any areas that cause discomfort. But also if you feel an area that feels a little bit stuck or sticky, you can always press into the movement with just a little bit more tension or force as long as it doesn't cause pain. From here, we're going to go into some wrist waves. Keep your fingers interlocked, bring your elbows out to the side. Lift one of your elbows. Imagine that there's a wave traveling through your forearm, through the same side wrist, through the hands, through the opposite wrist, and eventually out to the opposite elbow. Continue to perform your wave in the same direction. Once you finish your last repetition, let's go ahead and switch directions. So lift the elbow, allow the movement to transition through the same side wrist, through the hands, to the opposite wrist, and eventually out to the opposite elbow. Now there is an opportunity here where if we want to try to gain a little bit more flexion, we can use one of our hands to pull the opposite hand into more flexion before traveling out and completing the wave. Go ahead and finish the rep that you're on. Keep your fingers interlocked. We're going to perform a lateral wrist stretch. So we're just looking for a sensation of opening on the outside of the wrists. Go ahead and bring your thumbs in towards the sternum or the chest bone, and keeping the hands parallel to the ground, go ahead and press out. We want to drive the thumbs together, and again, we're looking for an opening or a sense of relief on the outside of the wrists. And then we bring the hands back in and drive out. Be sure not to flip the hands where they're facing forward. Keep them down towards the ground. And press out. Let's go into our magnetic wrists. So in our magnetic wrists, we're going to bring the palms together, and the idea is that we have a magnetic bracelet on each wrist. And those two bracelets do not want to lose contact with each other. We'll start off by bringing the thumbs across the hands, reach out, splaying the hands out as we bring the thumb side of the wrist together. From here, we simply sweep the fingertips down, bringing the backs of the wrist together. And then we'll continue the rotation, again, splaying the hands, trying to bring the pinky side of the hands together. Then we'll continue. Thumb comes across, we reach out, splay the hands, sweep the fingers down, back of the hands together, come up to your top position, splay the hands again, and palms. Continue. As you finish your last repetition here, let's go back to the base of the palms and then just reverse the movement. Pinky side, sweep the fingers down, back of the hands, reach out to find the thumb side of the wrists, and then continue. All right, let's finish up this last round. From here, we're going to place the hands on the ground. We'll set up to where the fingertips are pointing towards the knees. We're going to keep the elbows completely straight. We'll tuck the toes underneath, and we'll just simply begin to rock backward and forward. As we rock, we may want to connect our breath. So exhaling as we rock back is a great breath strategy, and then inhale as you rock forward. If you're finding that you're getting a little bit more range, you can always move your knees and feet back just slightly. Okay, slowly peel the hands off the ground. We did some wrist rocks. Let's go to some wrist clocks. Let's bring the fingers forward, plant the hands. We're just gonna start in a circular pattern or clockwise direction, bringing our left shoulder towards left pinky. Both shoulders go in front of the fingertips. We go towards right pinky and then shift back towards toes and continue in the same direction, clockwise direction. Go ahead and finish up that last round, and let's just take it in the opposite direction, counterclockwise. We're still going with our wrist clocks. Starting off towards right pinky, shoulders moving in front of the fingertips, transitioning over towards the left pinky. And finish up this last round. Okay, go ahead and find what we call a wrist relief position. Back of the hands together, wrists at elbow level. If we want to increase the stretch, we can always drop the elbows down below the wrists as long as we can keep the back of the hands together. There it is, your 5-minute wrist mobilization sequence. Having mobile wrists is crucial to our animal flow practice, and if you're just starting off with animal flow, performing wrist mobilizations will help your adaptation process as you're getting used to the new challenges of animal flow. As I mentioned earlier, performing wrist moves before, during, and after your practice. Enjoy this sequence, and I'll see you real soon.